Good morning, friends. Today we are going to think about the last important aspect of the topic Introduction to Ethics. In this particular topic, we are going to think about the self development. Friends, what do you mean by a self development? It is nothing but the development of an individual. At the same time, it is a development on the level of learning, it is the development on the level of his personal characteristics, it is a development on his financial matters or every aspect of his life. If it develops at that time, we can say that individual is developed. Now we have to think about the various important aspects of the or characteristics of the self development. Now see the first characteristic. The person undergoing self development does not depend on the support of the outside world. Such type of person becomes self sufficient. Self development in individuals makes them independent. It means that a person can be independent only when he becomes self sufficient. When he relies on his self, at that time we can say that he is a self developed person. Now, let us think about the second important characteristic. Self development brings in the feature of objectivity in individuals. Such a feature gives individuals an impersonal attitude. Friends, it is very important that if you are developing on your level of self, at that time a objective attitude or approach is developed in yourself, and that is very significant. And for that matter, one has to develop the particular kind of impersonal attitude or objective attitude in his self, and that will help him to improve his personality or his individuality. A self developed person looks happy in life. His inner nature looks full of cheer and joy. He will not depressed and miserable. It means that we have to think about the cheer and the joyful person can be a self developed person. At the same time, he cannot be depressed or miserable. Means coming out of that particular bad or depressed condition or a kind of sad condition, one have to develop his or herself, and that matters a lot, that signifies a lot. And for that matter, we have to think that a person is to be developed in his level of characteristics, level of traits, level of good qualities. मित्रांनो, एखाद्या माणसाचं व्यक्तिमत्व डेव्हलप करायचं असेल किंवा त्याच्यामध्ये इम्प्रूव्हमेंट करायची असेल तर त्यामध्ये सगळ्यात महत्त्वाची गोष्ट कोणती असते की त्याच्यामध्ये गुणात्मक बदल झाला पाहिजे, क्वालिटेटिव्ह चेंज झाला पाहिजे आणि त्याचबरोबर क्वांटिटेटिव्ह चेंज सुद्धा झाला पाहिजे. तो जर दुःखी असेल तर त्या दुःखातून तो बाहेर पडून तो आनंदी झाला पाहिजे. तो जर गरीब असेल तर त्या गरिबीतून बाहेर पडून तो समृद्ध झाला पाहिजे, श्रीमंत झाला पाहिजे. हे एक दोन उदाहरणं आपल्याला काय सुचवतात की त्याची जी पुअर कंडिशन आहे, त्याची जी वाईट कंडिशन आहे, त्यातून तो कुठेतरी बाहेर पडला पाहिजे, तर आणि तरच त्याच्यामध्ये सेल्फ डेव्हलपमेंट झाली आहे असं म्हणता येऊ शकेल. त्याचबरोबर अ सेल्फ डेव्हलप्ड पर्सन बिकम्स डायनॅमिक, ॲक्टिव्ह अँड ब्रायटर इन लाईफ. लक्षात ठेवा, माणूस जर फारच नॉर्मल असेल किंवा त्याच्यामध्ये अतिशय सर्वसामान्य गुणवैशिष्ट्ये असतील तर तो डेव्हलप्ड आहे असं आपण म्हणू शकत नाही. पण तो जर डायनॅमिक असेल, डायनॅमिकचा अर्थ काय, व्हॉट डू यू मीन बाय डायनॅमिक? डायनॅमिक मीन्स नथिंग बट accepting the challenges of life, accepting what are the diverse challenges which are coming in the life. That person, if faces them successfully, if defends himself as well as gets success in front of the problems, at that time that person is called as a dynamic person. At the same time, who or how a person can be identified as an active? A person who undertakes good activities in his life, he is making his development, at the same time his family's development, at the same time his own cities or towns development. It means that he is a person who is considered as an active person. At the same time, his life must be not beneficial for himself but beneficial for the surrounding, for the friend circle, for the family, for the society, and overall it must be beneficial for the nation. And for that matter, that person can be called as an active person. At the same time, he is called as a brighter person in his life. It means that a person who is helping others in diverse way is called as a brighter person or a developed person or a successful person. And for that matter, we have to understand the characteristics of the self development. Now let us focus on the last characteristic of the self development. A self developed person is more lovable, means a person who is appreciated and loved by many people, means there must be such kind of characteristics to attract others. In fact, not only to attract but help others, cooperate others, and extend his hand of cooperation to all the people who are coming in contact with that particular person is called as a lovable person. And this is the characteristic of the self developed person, or a person who is having a developed individuality. Now let us focus on the self development methods. What are the methods, or in which particular ways one can develop his personality, one can develop his individuality? Let us think about the path of action. The first important remedy is path of action. See that in Bhagavad Gita or in Mahabharata you might have seen that Lord Sri Krishna has guided Arjuna on the basis of karma. Means whoever is in front of you, that doesn't matter. Means whether they are your brothers, sisters, whether they are your parents or grandparents, what is your karma, what is your duty, that you have to perform. And remember that in everybody's life, path of action is very important. Everybody must focus on his karma. Everybody must focus on his duty, and if he follows his duties in a very proper way, at that time he can make his job successful. He can do his duty in a perfect way, and one has to perform the path of action in a very effective manner, in a very successful manner. Now let us focus on the path of knowledge. Friends, path, what do you mean by path of knowledge? In one's own life, one have to move towards the acquisition of the knowledge. See that until and unless you are knowledgeable, until and unless you are the source to other people of information and knowledge, you cannot be appreciated, you cannot be loved by others. And for that matter, you develop your knowledge base, you develop your information base, that will make you respectable in the eyes of others. And for that matter, we have to think about the path of knowledge. One has to follow this path of knowledge. मित्रांनो, जोपर्यंत तुम्ही ज्ञान संपादन करत नाही, जोपर्यंत तुमच्याकडे माहितीचं संकलन होत नाही, जोपर्यंत तुम्ही ज्ञानी बनत नाही, तोपर्यंत लोक तुमच्याकडे येणार नाहीत. लोक तुम्हाला विचारणार नाहीत की हे मला कृपया मार्गदर्शन करा, हे कृपया मला सांगा, असं तोपर्यंत लोक तुमच्याकडे येणार नाहीत जोपर्यंत तुमच्याकडे नॉलेज येत नाही. म्हणजेच काय, मला अनुप जलोटा यांच्या एका गझलमधला एक वाक्य आठवतं, जल से पतला ज्ञान है, ज्ञान भूमी से भारी. याचा अर्थ काय, या भूमीपेक्षा, या धरतीपेक्षा, या पृथ्वीपेक्षा सगळ्यात जास्त वजनदार काय असेल तर ज्ञान आहे मित्रांनो. आणि म्हणून जो माणूस ज्ञानी आहे त्या ज्ञानी माणसाच्या ज्ञानाला आपण नेहमी सलाम करत असतो. आणि म्हणून आपल्याला हे लक्षात ठेवलं पाहिजे की वन हॅज टू फॉलो द पाथ ऑफ नॉलेज. आपल्याला ज्ञानाचा मार्ग ॲक्सेप्ट केला पाहिजे, तो आपण संपादित केला पाहिजे. आणि केवळ संपादित करून चालणार नाही, तर जगाला तो ज्ञानाचा मार्ग दाखवला पाहिजे की ज्या ज्ञानातून त्यांचं प्रगती होऊ शकेल, त्यांची इंडिव्हिज्युअलिटी डेव्हलप होऊ शकेल. त्यानंतरचा भाग आहे पाथ ऑफ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. ह्याला काय म्हणतात, डिस्क्रिमिनेशन म्हणजे भेदभाव करणे, तफावत करणे. आता ही भेदभाव किंवा तफावत कशाची करायची, लेट अस सी दॅट. The path of discrimination assists a person to identify his inner faults. लक्षात ठेवा, भेदभाव करायचा आहे, फरक करायचा आहे. माझ्यामध्ये चांगले गुण कोणते आहेत, माझ्यामध्ये चांगले उद्देश कोणते आहेत, माझ्या मनामध्ये चांगला ॲटिट्यूड कोणता आहे, ह्याच्यामध्ये फरक केला पाहिजे. आणि माझ्यामध्ये वाईट कोणते गुण आहेत. याचा अर्थ असा आहे की when we are trying to search our own faults, at that time we can reduce them from our personality, we can minimize them from our personality. And for that matter, this identification of the qualities, bad qualities in the self, that is very important. And we have to discriminate in between the good qualities and the bad qualities. In English there are very good terms for this. Good qualities are called as traits. What is the spelling of trait? TRAITS. traits. Traits म्हणजे चांगले गुण. And the bad qualities are termed as vices. VICES, vices. It means that we have to discriminate in between the good qualities and the bad qualities that help us to identify and improve our personality and individuality. Now let us turn on the next important point of the path of sacrifice of the wealth.